do the girls enjoy the fame? First of all, yuck. Oh God, that's terrible. The girls think that it's funny. They think it's funny that when we go out in public, people say, "Are you Jason Kelce?" And then we go back to the house and they say, "Are you Jason Kelce?" Sometimes we catch them playing a game amongst themselves where they are not involving adults, where they will start to go, "Oh my gosh, I'm such a huge fan. Can we take a picture?" Yuck. I don't like that our kids have picked up on this. Obviously, they're going to pick up on it when they leave the house with their dad. It makes me sad that this is true. This took a very serious turn. It makes me sad that this is their reality. I want them to have as normal of an upbringing as possible. But we just make it a point to try and create a degree of separation as best we can. They think it's hilarious. They think that it's funny. Until someone, every so often, Wyatt will not like that someone is either talking about approaching us or staring at us. She recently stared at a group of young women who were speaking loudly across the street from us, and she stared at them with a really nasty look on her face and said, "They are not taking a picture with my dad." And so I think most of the time they think it's funny and entertaining, and sometimes they do not. And I think that we should collectively leave them out of it. How are my older girls adjusting to their new baby sister? Well, let me tell you. Ellie and Finney are best friends. Ellie actually told me, Benny told me the other day, this is a big deal. Benny told me the other day that her and Finney were going to be best friends. Now, it was were going to be best friends. So it's future tense. And so from that, I think we're not quite there yet, but she has figured out how to make Finn laugh. And as with grown adults, it's the same with children. When they can make a baby laugh, they feel as though that is an accomplishment, as it is. And they've been doing an outstanding job doing that. Now, Wyatt likes to be in charge. Nothing new. So she likes to be given jobs like, "Hey, put Finney back in the gate when Finn escapes from the living room." Benny only wants to really make her laugh or pretend that she's a baby doll. We're working on it. There's been a lot of things put on Finn's head. And by that, I mean headbands, ears, hats, dresses. And I said on her head. I didn't say on her body, because Benny thinks that she can dress Finn. And so she'll just put the dress over her head. And then Finn's sitting there with like a dress covering her face going, and yep. So it's going pretty good. I would say that Finn has an affinity for Ellie right now. But I say right now because it's ever shifting. I will say Finn is not speaking a lot. I'm not going to be that mom that's like, "My kid says blah, 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 this many words." No. But I will tell you, one of the things that she likes to do is call for Ellie. And Ellie is sweet enough that Ellie will typically call back. So Ellie will stand in the other room and go, "Finney." And Finn will sit in the other room and go, "Hey." And it's very cute. And she doesn't always do both syllables. And it doesn't always sound like Ellie, but she does try to yell back to Ellie, which is a very cute practice that I encourage a lot. So yeah, it's going well. They have accepted that she is a human being and not just a blob, which is great, because now she is sort of toddling along a little bit and trying to get involved. It is very sweet to watch her, which we've seen this with every child Ellie on, that they just want to be involved. And so to see them sort of crawl into the mix is just very heartwarming. And then when their older sisters actually try to involve them It is so sweet. Now, that would be like the Instagram version, okay? When she crawls in and she tries to get involved, and then their sisters hand her a Barbie or a toy and try to let her get involved. The real life version, which is, I would say the majority of the time, is when Finn tries to crawl in and get involved, and then she gets yelled at and they try to like edge her out and push her back so that she can't touch the perfectly framed house that they have put together and strategically place the characters that are playing. So just let's manage expectations here. I'm not saying that my kids play nicely all the time. The biggest difference from going from 3 kids to 4 kids, there was a while when we were choosing to try for what is now Finn, where I kept thinking that I had forgotten a child, like that one was missing. I think it had a lot to do with the age that Benny was and the progression, because it just felt like I didn't have a baby with me anymore. Either way, it feels very comfy and whole. It feels very balanced. I love even numbers. I've said that on the show before. Something I often get asked about is age gaps. At this point, after having Wyatt, I was already pregnant with Ellie. That's bananas to me. The idea, I still can't fathom that I got pregnant less than a year postpartum. That is crazy bananas. When people tell me that they've gotten pregnant, really, I would say within the first year postpartum, I just want to wrap them up in a little burrito and just rock them. I want to rock them, because as much as you are excited about it and it's amazing, whoa. Because getting a year out, I was just thinking this the other day, getting a year out feels more stable. And I don't know if it's just the hormone flush or your body going back or your organs being back where they're intended to be, or your joints feeling more stable, or maybe just like sleep is probably better by a year out. All of these things that come together to just make you feel like a year out has been my threshold of where I feel like if I start working out again seriously, that like I might feel strong again, or that I might feel like my body is stable. A 2-year age gap just feels reasonable because you've given your body time to adjust, but you're also not getting so far out that you feel like, why would I start over? Guys, I've told you before, if my last kid gets out of diapers, then the shop is closed, if you catch my drift. I will say, Finney is still just cuddly enough that I do not have an urge for baby right now. Let me just say that. I like to leave it open-ended because I don't want the universe to hear me or my uterus. Nobody's talking to you. But I do think 4 feels good anytime I get in the shower. Literally, anytime I am not in their view, they want to know where I am. Let me explain. I go in the shower. We have a glass door on the shower. I will go in the shower. Kids will come up. I can hear them run into our bedroom because they sound like a herd of elephants. One child will sound like a whole herd of elephants. They run into the room. They come into the bathroom, and typically they go, "Mom," and I say, "Yes," and they go, "Mom," and they say, "Yes," and they say, "Mom," and I say, "Yes," and they say, "What are you doing?" Well, I think I'm showering. And then they proceed to try and wipe the glass on the outside. And then they yell at me when they realize they can't wipe off the condensation and that I have to wipe off the condensation in the inside. And so then it turns into, Mom, Mom, I can't see. Mom, I can't see you. Mom, I can't see you. As if I want them to see me.
Every mother knows the quiet, fierce urge to build a fortress around her children's childhoods. We want them to stay little just a bit longer, to see the world with innocent eyes, and to know, without a shadow of a doubt, that they are loved simply for who they are, not for what they do or what the world expects of them. For Kylie Kelce, wife of Eagles legend Jason Kelce, that universal maternal instinct has been put to an extraordinary test. When your brother-in-law Travis Kelce falls in love with global superstar Taylor Swift, your quiet family life suddenly becomes the most talked-about story on the planet. Yet, amidst the flashbulbs, paparazzi, and internet madness, Kylie has quietly offered every mother a masterclass in heart-led, grounded parenting. Through her candid reflections on her podcast Not Gonna Lie, and open discussions about raising her 4 young daughters, Wyatt, Elliotte, Bennett, and Finnley, Kylie reminds us that no matter how loud the outside world gets, a mother's love is the ultimate anchor. To millions of fans across the globe, Taylor Swift is a record-breaking pop icon whose presence changes cultural landscapes. But through the eyes of a child, adults aren't defined by their resumes. They are defined by how they make them feel. To Kylie's daughters, Uncle Travis isn't a Super Bowl legend. He's the soft-hearted giant who willingly lets them pile on top of him for living room wrestling matches. Auntie Taylor isn't an international phenomenon. She's the cozy family member who shows up with warm smiles, lets them play with her cats, and sits down to craft custom baby blankets and handmade purses just for them. As mothers, we know the profound beauty of this simplicity. Children don't care about accolades or fame. They care about connection. By protecting her daughter's ability to see Auntie Taylor as just family, Kylie gives her girls the greatest gift a mother can offer, an environment where relationships are built on genuine affection, not public hype. Every mom knows the feeling of wanting to guard her front door against the chaos of the world. Raising little girls in an era dominated by social media is hard enough. Doing so when your family is under a microscopic spotlight requires unwavering maternal strength. Kylie's approach isn't about hiding her children away in fear, but about intentionally protecting their everyday magic. Normalizing extraordinary moments, whether her daughters are dressing up to walk down the aisle as flower girls or sitting in a stadium box, Kylie frames these events around family unity, making sure the focus stays on who they are with, not who is watching. Prioritizing unseen moments. While the public loves seeing occasional sweet family glimpses, Kylie fiercely protects the mundane, beautiful parts of their lives, playdates, muddy shoes, bedtime stories, and toddler tantrums, keeping their true childhood sacredly off camera. Modeling realness. Kylie's quick-witted, refreshingly honest, and no-nonsense presence teaches her daughters a priceless lesson. A woman's value is found in her character, her kindness, and her heart, never in external validation. The girls are thrilled. They're so excited they're getting another aunt. We love love, and we love Taylor and Trav. Kylie Kelce, reminding us that at the heart of even the biggest news story is simply a family celebrating love. A child's heart knows when someone is truly present. Part of the seamless transition into this ultra-famous family chapter comes down to how Swift has entered the girls' lives, not as a celebrity, but as an aunt who listens, cares, and shows up. For any mother watching from afar, there is an emotional warmth in seeing an extended family make space for a child's simplicity. Swift's willingness to step out of the arena and step into quiet moments of crafting and laughter reinforces the exact value Kylie instills in her home. When you are with family, you are safe, seen, and deeply cherished. Every parent dreams of giving their children roots so deep that no wind can ever blow them over. The Kelce household is built on a foundation of unpretentious Midwestern humility, passed down through matriarch Donna Kelce, and lived out daily by Jason and Travis. It is a home filled with chaotic laughter, loud sports debates, messy toddler meals, and unconditional support. When children grow up in a house where mum and dad laugh off the noise, value hard work, and prioritize showing up for one another, external fame loses its power to disrupt their inner peace. At its core, the story of how Travis's nieces are handling their family's surreal world isn't really a story about fame at all. It's a story about a mother's quiet power. Kylie Kelce reminds every mum that while we cannot control the wild, chaotic world outside our windows, we have absolute power over the climate inside our homes. By shielding her daughters from the weight of expectations, anchoring them in simple joys, and surrounding them with unconditional love, she ensures that Wyatt, Elliotte, Bennett, and Finnley are completely untouched by the spotlight. To those sweet 4 girls, global fame is just distant background noise. What truly fills their hearts is the everyday magic of a warm home, a father's loud laugh, a mother's protective embrace, and the simple, joyful comfort of a growing family that loves them fiercely.